to it. It is a Crew Show, Real 92.3. We are so excited. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm super excited, man. You know I'm an LA Galaxy supporter. I know Cruz is an LA Galaxy supporter. Leche we'll get to later. But we're so excited to have our keeper on the Crew Show, Mr. Jonathan Bond. Welcome to the Crew Show on Real 92.3. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Man, can I just say, I'm going to start like this. Thank you for saving our asses throughout the season. That's all I'm going to say. I speak for all LA Galaxy fans. I can't even tell you how many times you came through and saved us, man. Like, you have been such a blessing to this team and such a blessing to the city. Like, I just want to thank you as a supporter because, man, without you, it would have been really, really, and I know we didn't make the playoffs, but without you, it would have been bad. So I want to thank you.
No, I felt very comfortable and very at home from day one. So playing in the preseason games, I was like, okay, new league, new country, a little bit nervous about how it was going to go. And then we played our first home game at home to New York Red Bulls, and I felt a lot of warmth, from the fans in the stadium, and the coaching staff and the players made me feel very welcome from day one. So. Yeah, I think it was kind of like a mutual thing. You guys made me feel at home, and then I was able to play well. So yeah, I've been very happy.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Obviously, the trophy is always the number one thing, right? You want the trophy. You want to win the championship. Having conversations like not making it to the playoffs. What do you tell yourself? What's that conversation like in the locker room?
It hurts. It hurts a lot because. It's interesting. Everyone says, at the end of the league season, the table doesn't lie. That's what everyone always says. But my feeling is that there's no way we weren't good enough to be in the playoffs. I mean, we were in the playoffs from the first game of the season all the way until about 30 seconds until the last game. So until Salt Lake School, we were in the playoffs the whole season. We were really in the top 3 or 4 pretty much most of the season. So for us to for me to be at home watching the playoffs and us not be a part of it I'm still kind of trying to get my head around it and come to terms with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, gutted. Yeah, as we say.
That's the word.
Well, thank goodness we don't have relegation here in this country, though. Thank God we don't have relegation in this country.
I think we would have been sweet. We would have been sweet. I think we would have been okay. We would have been okay with relegation. Yeah.
So let's talk about the support of the fans. You said you felt at home. You felt the warmth. I mean, obviously playing in the UK and in other places, and then coming here. I know that MLS, is in a big shadow compared to the Premier League and all the other leagues around the world. But did you feel any kind of drop off, or did you feel, man, this is pleasantly surprising the way that the supporters are for this team?
No, I was definitely pleasantly surprised. I mean, there are so many different aspects we can talk about. Like even when earlier on the season, the young players from Galaxy 2, the second team came up, I was wondering, okay, what kind of level these guys are good, the young players come in technically amazing. And that's when I knew straight away, oh, wow, okay, this is a serious level out here. And then you obviously start the season, you play the games, and you quickly realize, this is definitely not an easy league. I understand why players are going to Europe, are being bought by big European teams. And, there's a lot of young talent now coming out of this country. So I kind of knew that and suspected it from when I was in England anyway, but then to actually be here and experience it, then, and then, in terms of the atmospheres and the fans, I mean, especially when you play the LAFCs, when you play the Seattles, you can feel your fans, what they're capable of. And when we played the 2 games against LAFC, especially at Galaxy Stadium, our atmosphere was incredible. One of the best I've played in. So, everything about it I've loved from minute one, to be honest.
How about the food in LA? What are your
top don't get me started. I had to do more gym now at the training room because I'm eating so much more. I'm trying to stay in shape, but there's so much to choose from here. I live kind of near Century City, if you know where that is.
Oh yeah.
So really on my doorstep, really West Hollywood and Melrose, all these places. There's so many different restaurants and cuisines, and there's too much to choose from. So I'm trying to. Especially now that I'm not training as much, trying not to go out for as much food as I have been.
On average, how many calories do you burn a day, bro, when you're training?
Oh, I don't know. That's a question I should know the answer to straight away, but it fluctuates. Day before a game, for example, not many at all. And then let's say earlier in the week, we might have a hard session, and then I'll do gym session afterwards. So it can be a lot more. But I don't want to put a number on it because I'll probably be wrong. I need to go through the sports science with that.
Hey, I let a lot of Galaxy supporters know that we were going to talk to you today, and I got a lot of questions from them. As a matter of fact, one has to do with food. AFJU Soccer Academy he said he asked you this at the beginning of the season, but have you tried pupusas yet? He wants to know.
No, where do I go to get these pupusas?
Well, pupusas is a staple in LA. It's a Salvadoran staple.
Yeah.
But I mean, anywhere, if you go to downtown too, you can go off of like Alameda, which is the hood, but Jonathan, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Or like Echo Park area, I believe. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Koreatown, like there's a lot of Central American population there. So anywhere there, but yeah, you could just type in Salvadoran food and you'll be good to go.
At training, like even for lunch and stuff, we do get served up like local food, like LA food. And I've probably had pupusas, but I just don't know. Someone needs to go, oh, by the way, that's a pupusa. I've probably eaten it like quite a lot of times this year, but I just need someone to say, oh yeah, this is pupusa and you should try it. So I need to try a proper one from somewhere you recommend.
And Mexican food, that's the staple out here. So have you had a lot of tacos, a lot of Mexican food, a lot of ceviche, things like that?
Yeah. I mean, I love that, to be fair. Even when I was back in England, Mexican's one of my favorite types of food cuisines. So and then obviously I get to come here and it's a lot better than back in England, I must say. But I love all that kind of stuff. I love it.
That's so dope, man. There was another question. People were asking if like the KSI relationship or how.
Oh yeah. So I went to school. I mean, not just went to school. We were in the same class. Me, JJ, who obviously everyone knows as KSI. Another guy called Mini Minter. I don't know if you've heard of him. Yeah, he's part of like the Sidemen group. And it's crazy like how successful these guys were going on to be. I remember walking into my locker room at West Brom, a team in England. And the first day, one of the young boys was like, "Oh, KSI," and I was like, wow, this guy really does get it. And now I'm in America, in LA, and you guys are asking me about KSI, and it's like it's surreal,
insane,
really.
Right? Like you're like,
it's surreal. I'm trying to. I can't understand it, but
like that's JJ. What do you mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's just JJ from school. It's really, really strange, but.
The guy that got no girls. What do you mean?
But he's definitely not short of girls now, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
No, and that's our guy. That's our guy, man. Nah, we've been supporting him for a lot of years, and
that's cool.
He's been very generous to our Cruise Cares toy drive, which we do annually at Christmas. Like he's been extremely supportive, and we supported.
Wow, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, man, we supported his music, his boxing, the whole thing, man. And I've just
whatever he puts his hand to is like successful at. It's amazing.
Jonathan, you speak for yourself. You know what I'm saying? No, but hey, is there anything else you want to venture off and do? Like hobbies that maybe, maybe it's too soon to ask, but like maybe painting or.
No, I was speaking to Simon Mini Minter about the YouTube thing, and it's not easy. These guys like are filming and editing for hours, and they have to push out like 2 videos a day, otherwise their subscribers and their fans aren't happy. So it wasn't like something you just can do on the side. And I was just thinking about career paths really after soccer, but it really surprised me kind of how much time and effort these guys have to put into to what they do, and really quite impressive.
It is, and they've turned it into tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, which is amazing to me. Like, and my kids, like I said, much like your friends, the younger guys on your team, like that's how my kids are. Like they don't care if I talk to Drake or anybody. They'd rather find out when I talk to FaZe Rug or KSI or Logan Paul. I mean, those are their superheroes, man.
Well, yeah, when we were younger and everyone said, "Oh, what do you want to be when you're older?" The answer was always some kind of athlete or some kind of whatever. Now it's like number one is YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber or a streamer on Twitch, and like that's like the number one thing now. It's just changed so much so quickly, but we're all trying to move with it, I guess.
All right, so are you nice on FIFA? And who's the best on the Galaxy team? I'm sure you guys have to play some matches every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I play. Do you know what? This is the first FIFA that I didn't buy, so I'm trying to like get myself off of it because I just get too angry. Like when I win, I'm relieved. I'm not happy. I'm just relieved that I didn't lose. But then when I lose, I'm so angry. Like I throw the controller around the room and stuff. So There just got a point where I was like, I just can't keep doing this. I need
Do you
to like
forget
stop
you're a
playing.
professional soccer player in real life?
That's
still not good enough somehow, huh, Jonathan?
Do you play as yourself?
Do
you ever play as yourself?
I mean, I tried that when I was younger, but I'm just rubbish. I'm like, not very good in the game, so I never even look at myself. Like I don't look anything like myself. Like I don't know. It's just I play as like Napoli or something like that, and honestly, it's too stressful. Because I always play against my friends and we're too competitive against each other. So if I lose, I take it really personally. So I've just said like, no, enough. I can't play anymore. I'm not playing.
It's good to know that you're just like all of us, because I rage quit too. It doesn't matter if it's FIFA or Madden or NBA, especially when my 13-year-old son's kicking my ass. That's really demoralizing, man. So I'm like you, and I know how you feel. Hey, speaking of keepers, who are your top 5 keepers of all time? That was a question from Slevin on Twitter. He wanted to know who your top 5 keepers were.
5 is quite a lot. I mean, 2 for sure would be 2 Chelsea guys. The reason I was a goalkeeper when I was growing up was a guy called Carlo Cudicini, who actually played for Galaxy for a year. I think when he was towards the end of his career. But he was amazing at Chelsea. Really, he was like kind of like one of the heroes of the team, and he was the reason why I was a goalkeeper. And then as I started to become kind of like 14, 15, taking it more seriously and trying to learn from people. Petr Cech was the goalkeeper at Chelsea, and I really took a lot from him. But now, I love these guys like Edison, Alisson, just the way they play with their feet. How they're so physically, they're great athletes, very strong, very calm. I love those guys. But other than that, it's difficult to look past Manuel Neuer as well for everything that he did. He's very different style to myself. I don't really. We are very different goalkeepers, but yeah, I mean, if I had to choose 5, there's 5 names there, but it's very difficult to choose 5. There's so many good ones.
Why is the keeper, like growing up, was always the chubby kid?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Why?
It's because whoever that kid was clearly just not fit enough or good enough to be outfield. So it's like, okay, just go in goal. And to be fair, I never enjoyed playing in goal when I was like 10, 11, 12. I like learned to enjoy it. A little bit later.
You realize how important you really are.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. Like just diving around, like as a kid, diving around, making saves, being the hero. Like you make a game-winning save and stuff. Yeah. And it's kind of like, if you're not a striker and you're not scoring goals, the next best thing is kind of like saving a penalty. Midfield, it's just a lot of running. You might score a goal every now and then, but that's it really. So. I just ended up loving it.
Yeah, I used to be goalie growing up all the time. I was a chubby kid. It was just like, all right, I'm going to go.
They bullied you to go and go.
And then like high school happened, and I lost weight, and it was like, I'm gonna run now. I could run now. But I'm pretty man. I'm a better futsal goalie though than actual field futsal. Smaller goal and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's fun. Being a keeper is fun, definitely.
It is, man. And there's a lot of glory in it, man. And I think a lot of coaches, they don't see that when they're coaching, the younger leagues. I have a question from Alex, came from our Twitter as well. He wants to ask you the best moment this year for you in a Galaxy jersey. Like, was there one particular moment that stood out, one particular match or something like that?
Maybe I did win Player of the Week towards the start of the season. That was like a highlight, like a personal highlight from myself individually. I think that really helped me settle in. Where kind of announce myself kind of to the club and to the league. Like, okay, yeah, played really well this game, and I've started the season well, and we kept a clean sheet and we won 1-0 and we got 3 points. And at the time I think we won 8 out of our first 12 games or something like that. So we were doing really well. And if I had to choose a moment, it'd probably be that.
Leche?
Speaking of Player of the Week, Chicha, I think, was Player of the Week one time too. What's your relationship with Chicharito?
We get on really well. I was really surprised. You have these kind of preconceptions of what you're going to come into, and not of Chicha himself, but as in just of like DPs. So when you're going into a new club and you go, okay, there are 3 DPs. These guys are naturally going to be like big egos, or we're going to have to do everything that they want and what they say. And what I found was the complete opposite. what I found was he was the hardest worker out of everyone, the most honest. He was like the most team player. This guy, he comes into training. He's pretty much first into training ground. So he'll do all his treatment in his gym, and then he'll train harder than anyone. He'll then finish training. He'll get changed quickly, go, and then he trains again outside of the training ground with his own personal guy. And he's got his own nutritionist. And I was shocked, like, MLS, some of the DPs, I can't imagine that all the DPs are acting like that, conducting themselves in that way. He was so hungry to be the best. And yeah, I mean, we got on great really from day one, and he's really inspired me to do more and to take a leaf out of his book. And I honestly don't have enough good things to say about the guy. He's been an eye-opening. Yeah, he's been a revelation.
We got to keep him healthy next year, man, because that made all the difference when he was in. He definitely had. You could feel his presence there. Hey, I want to give you a shout out for doing something really cool, because a lot of us fans, we buy the kits on MLS, website, whatever. Goalie kits aren't available, but you gave one away this year, man, which I thought was really cool. Right, on social media, am I correct?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's something I wanted to do more of, but I don't know. I get a bit funny, like if the team's not doing great, or if we lose a game or whatever, then I don't want to do like a jersey giveaway kind of within that next week. So I'm always looking for, okay, if we win a game and everyone's kind of more in the mood to stomach do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So towards the end of the season, there were like less opportunities because we weren't getting the results that we wanted. And I have one or two more I can do giveaways. I don't know whether there's still like the demand there, because I don't know, next season we might have a different kit. But I didn't really understand, when I asked the guy at Galaxy, he said, people don't buy, this is early on in the season, people don't buy goalie jerseys. And I was saying, well, a few people have asked me, they're looking for where to buy it. And the more I looked into it, the more, it's an MLS thing. Like they're not selling, or maybe it's a Galaxy thing. But I think next season will be different. I think next season they're going to order, I don't know, 50 or 100 jerseys or whatever, and then sell them properly, which is how it should be, really.
It should be, because I guarantee you people would have purchased them this year for sure. Hey, I got a good question. This is actually from someone called Sportstronaut. He asked if you could play alongside any retired veteran from the LA Galaxy. So I'm sure he's talking about like Donovan, Beckham, Keane. Who would it be and why? There's an MLS vet or a Galaxy vet that you'd love to play next to?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult not to say Beckham, to be honest, because just, he's one of the legends. Zlatan would have been amazing. But really, for success for the Galaxy, I think Robbie Keane. He was probably the most successful player. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but he was him. Landon Donovan seemed to be the guys that really drove the Galaxy to a lot of success. So if I had to choose anyone, maybe Robbie Keane.
Yeah, man, he could play, man. He was amazing. The heart he had too. Leche, you got anything, my friend?
Yeah. Any relation to James Bond?
He's my uncle.
Hey, tell that motherfucker I need some money.
He needs to borrow his tuxedo. That's what he's.
I need to borrow his tux. Tell that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Pick up the phone, G.
Hey, there's someone else that had a really good question. I never really thought of it phrased this way, but someone asked on the Twitter, "What's the most LA thing you've done since you've been in LA?" Because everybody, when you're not in LA, you have a stereotypical vision of what LA is. Like, what's the most LA thing that you've done since you've been in LA? That your friends back home would be, oh, there he is. Bond's changed, man. He's Hollywood now.
I think it would have been.
He rode a scooter down Fairfax to go get fucking a latte with fucking coconut milk.
And then went shopping at Undefeated. Yeah, all that on one day.
Yeah. No, I think for my friends look at me, it'd be something to do with like what I'm wearing. My fashion just completely changed. Now I'm wearing like vintage stuff and like baggier jeans, and before everything was like very fitted and like tight and like European.
Yeah, very James Bond.
Now, yeah. But now like everything's changed in terms of that. I could be any number of things, like going to any one of the beaches, going to Universal, going to the Valley, like going up to Malibu. I went to Santa Barbara yesterday. I love that place. I love it there. It's beautiful. Great. Just a little bit far to go, like a lot, but yeah, every time I get like a spare couple of days, then I go up there. And Yeah, it's just, I mean, I could sit down and make a list, but yeah, I have to rack my brains as to what the number one LA thing is that I've done.
I'm sure when you get home, they'll remind you of all of them for sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hey, I saw you at the Laker game. I saw you at the Charger game.
Yeah.
Talk about that energy in comparison. I mean, because, you know, American football does happen, you know, every once in a while, a couple times a season out there. And then, you know, basketball obviously doesn't happen in the UK unless it's, you know, some of the club teams, but Lakers are on a different level. How are the vibes in each of those stadiums individually?
Yeah, amazing. I've really wanted to all season go to a Lakers game. I know there was an off season in the middle of that, but finally, it's obviously now that our season's over, I get the time to kind of go around these places. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it kind of builds, doesn't it? Like crescendos, like towards the end of the game, everyone's up on their feet. Every single like missed shot or block is suddenly like everyone's celebrating it. And it was just, I really got carried away in the energy of it. Actually, the game I went to was against the Miami Heat, and it went to overtime, and like teams were missing, like no one could like score. It was very, very fun. It was very cool. And just completely different environment to, you know, I'm not used to being inside in like a sporting event. Like that's not something really, I don't go to that many other sporting events in England. It's just football or just soccer. So it was cool to be inside in the Staples. And then the Chargers game. Wow. The SoFi. Have you been to the SoFi? The stadium.
I have not yet.
I already have Wi-Fi. I've never been to SoFi.
Honestly, you guys need to go. It's incredible. It's an amazing stadium.
Hopefully they give us free tickets, and I'll go.
Yeah, well, let's go together. We'll go.
Jonathan, don't play, fool.
Free tickets, you'll take them.
What Lech is saying is he'll play you in FIFA. If he wins, you got to take him with
I'll give you. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
You play, homie, and we'll go in scooters.
But no, that was amazing. I mean, it's a lot longer of an event, isn't it? It's kind of like 3.5 hours for the game, and everyone's a lot more chilled, you know, because the game's going on. I kind of it's exciting. Like they'll do a play, and then there'll be a timeout, so it gives you time to kind of just enjoy like the entertainment side of things and like everything that's going on around you, and just completely different to the basketball, but still enjoyed it just as much. It's amazing.
In the UK, do they have tailgates?
No, that was something that was cool. We went there at like 10 a.m. and you know they have like the Minnesota Vikings and the Chargers fans were like, everyone was mixing, everyone was just in a good mood, everyone was drinking, like there's barbecues going on, like it was
that could never happen in the UK.
No. The mixing couldn't happen, but like the tailgating is a good idea. I don't know why we don't do it. Like everyone should do it. It's just a nice way to get everyone get warm for the game, you know.
And save money in the stadium.
It's a bit cold though as well in England. Like,
yeah, and I mean, everybody probably pre-games at the pub, and then they get over to the venue and then get in there, right? Like it's the same concept, but I think here because everything's spread out and you have the giant parking lots and everything's commuting to the game, that's where the tailgate's born. Because it was the same. I went to a Benfica game in Portugal, and it's it's the same atmosphere as you see out in the UK, and it's like, but everybody pre-gamed at all the pubs, and then they would transit over there, and then they would continue the drinking at the game once they got in. But it wasn't a tailgate type situation, you know.
No, I think also the stadiums they're kind of, because they've been there for so long, they're kind of like packed right into cities. Like you'll just be walking down a residential street and then you'll turn left and then there's like Stamford Bridge there, kind of thing. So I don't know where you would tailgate around the stadium. There's really no space, but no, you're right, everyone's just in pubs, packed in pubs, like sardines.
Well, listen, man, I can't thank you enough for your time. Like for real, I'm a fan, a big supporter of the team, and Leche, we're gonna get him over here, man. I'm not worried about it. He take a free jersey here and there, but he knows where
my influencer shit, Jeff.
He
knows what I'm saying.
If you want a jersey, I can get you a jersey. I'll get you a jersey, guys. I just size you.
Hey, I'm easy, Jonathan. I'm a large. Sometimes XL.
Listen, you said you slimmed down.
Yeah, bro. I went from 2X, sometimes 3, to a large.
Yeah, very nice, very cool.
Yeah, good man, stuff. 55 kilos.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm a large XL, so yeah. I'll get.
Yeah, we can share the same shit, fool.
I'm a large too, by the way.
Yeah, whatever you don't want to wear, hand it down.
No, but hey, man, But listen, you've had a tremendous impact on this team, and honestly, I can't thank you enough. And you know, as soon as I, you know, saw our good friend Larry, you were a client of Larry's, and I was like, please let us talk to him, because we are genuine supporters, and I know that, you know, all the wonderful Galaxy supporters that send us questions via social media are really appreciative of, you know, being able to hear from their keeper. And we are thankful to have you, man, and we wish you nothing but success. And, you know, hopefully we can, you know, hang a little bit in person, man. You know, one of these days. When you're back in the swing of things, and travel safely if you head back home for the holidays. And again, thank you for everything that you've done for the squad. And we appreciate your time today, dude.
Thank you. Very kind. Thank you for having me on. And it's always a pleasure to speak to true soccer, true Galaxy fans. So guys, whenever you want to chat, I'm here. Let's do it.
For sure.
2-1,
Get it.
Man, you 2-1.
Oh, look at this
I'm
guy.
ending on that one, Garcia.
Look at
say
this
bye.
guy,
Just
man.
say bye, Garcia. Hang up on him.
Hey, Jonathan,
Hang up on him.
get our numbers from Larry. He's got our numbers. If you ever need anything from us, please let us know. And you know, as far as like concerts and all that stuff too, because we're a hip hop radio station, so whatever you need from us, just please like reach out to Larry. Larry knows that we'd be happy to take care of you, man. Plug you in with whatever you need.
Wow,
if you're having any sort of trouble on that side, we'd love to help out. You know.
No need for scalping when you got friends that work at a radio station, Jonathan.
No, this was all. Hey, great job, guys. You know,
Thank you.
Really,
Come on, Larry.
Hey, really enjoyed listening to him, man. No, it was awesome. It was great.
Man, listen, I know we look like a mess, but every once in a while we can be professional when we try, man.
No, you can tell. It's sometimes it's easy to speak to some people. You can tell within like 30 seconds, like, oh, this is going to be nice and easy. You know, when you speak to someone like, and you're going to do an interview early on, you're like, oh, okay, this might be a little bit different. With you guys, so easy, so smooth.
You don't even got to be proper. We don't judge, fool.
Hey, hey, Jeff. For cruise for the holiday event, what
cruise
do you?
Cares?
Yeah, what can we help out with?
Man, anything you could do. I mean, we are able to get physical toys this year and have them dropped off at the station or at one of our events, or you can make a monetary donation. Just to give you some background on it, Jonathan, we help out the Boys and Girls Clubs here in Southern California, in the Valley, downtown, some of the more challenged areas like, you know, Boyle Heights, Compton, those places as well. So it's about 8 clubs this year. And Boys and Girls Club is essentially an after school program for kids that can't afford to go anywhere else or parents work. So it's kind of like they mind the kids, and then at the same time they're teaching them life skills and studying and doing all that kind of stuff. So a lot of us came from those programs. I know Leche did specifically, but every year we raise funds and or toys. A lot of the funds go to the older kids, because a lot of times when we do a toy drive, you know, everyone wants to give stuffed animals and cute little things, or, you know, or Candyland or Connect Four. And a lot of times the older kids, the teens, they get left out. So we'll purchase them Foot Locker gift cards, or, you know, things that they can use that are more serviceable for older kids. So the monetary is great. The physical toys are great, but we, you know, if there's anything that you can do, Larry, I believe I sent you the press release, right? With everything
I got
in
it. Yeah.
So what we'd love to do is, obviously we're going to air this interview on the air now, but if you guys figure something out that you want to do, let me know and text me, and then we can have you on again, even if it's a quick call to say, hey, this is Jonathan checking back in. I just want to let you know I made a donation, because when they see, you know, when I say they, our listenership and fans of, you know, and supporters of the Galaxy, when they see the people that they look up to doing it, they're more inclined to do it as well. So we'd love to have you be a part of it if you can pull that off, you know?
No, I'd love to do that, because I wanted to do more community stuff actually all season, but no one's really come to me with like any ideas or opportunities. I've not really heard, like usually usually comes through the club. That's one of my experiences in England. And then otherwise I don't really know the best way of going out and finding it. But then there's also the thing, like, because I'm not from LA, you know, like I'm an English guy, like how will that go down with the kids? Do I have to like meet them and stuff? I don't know that'd be an issue. But I guess if they're soccer fans and Galaxy fans, then I guess it will go down well. But yeah, it's just those kind of things run through my head.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, in this particular case, there's really no requirement to go down and meet anybody, you know, it's just more so like letting people know that you're into it and that you made a donation. But there, you know, we do a lot of charity work, and I know Larry does too. So maybe next season we can work a little bit together to do more of that, because we do a lot of back to school stuff too, because that's another big issue, you know, back to school supplies and all those different things and backpacks. And, you know, again, these after school programs, I can get you very connected with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And that, you know, Leche, you could speak to this here. It's a lot of black and brown kids, you know, in the cities that we're servicing.
Yeah.
And you already know that, you know, a lot of the Latino kids they're soccer fans, man. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, having someone of your caliber be involved, whether, you know, it be in person or whatever, would be a very big thing. And then we tie in the club too, because I know everything's got to eventually go through the club because of protocol, but, you know, we could get the conversation started, connect the dots, and then, you know, we let the, you know, loop in the club and figure it out. But, you know, that's important stuff to me because, you know, we didn't grow up with shit. You know, me and Leche didn't grow up with dads. We always talk about it on the air.
Yeah, we're bastards. We really are bastards. We're bastards.
So for us, I mean, this is something that's a passion project, man, and all the stuff that we do. So yeah,
that's very cool. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, Jeff, work with me on it, and you know, in terms of like, I mean, I would love to get Jonathan involved with the Boys and Girls Club and all that. I think that's a great idea.
And I got a lot of connects at AYSO too. That's the kids soccer leagues
here. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I coached for a lot of years, Jonathan. I coached for a lot of years. So, you know, we can plug you in with some of that as well. I mean, if that's something you're inclined to do. So, you know, you, at your leisure and whatever you're comfortable with, and I'll talk to Larry and set up some opportunities, man, you know?
Amazing. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate
your time, and happy holidays.
Thanks, guys.